The optimized morning routine, the color-coded calendar, the endless pursuit of an empty inbox. You have become a master of efficiency, a warrior of the to-do list. You are doing everything the world told you to do to be successful. So why do you feel so empty? Why does the completion of one task only bring the anxiety of the next? And why, in the quiet moments you so rarely allow yourself, do you feel a hollow ache, a sense that you are running faster and faster on a wheel that is going nowhere? This is the great seductive lie of our time, the productivity trap. It is the belief that your worth is measured by your output, that a full calendar means a full life, and that burnout is just the price of ambition. But the great psychologist Carl Jung offered a different diagnosis. He understood that this relentless obsession with doing is often a sophisticated form of shadow avoidance. It is a way to stay so busy that we never have to face the terrifying, fundamental question, who am I when I am not achieving? Today, we are not here to offer you another life hack. We are here to offer you a way out. We will unmask the productivity trap for what it is, a hamster wheel for the soul. We will explore why your exhaustion is a sacred signal that you are living out of alignment with your true self. And we will introduce Jung's profound cure for this modern ailment, the journey he called individuation, a path not to becoming more productive, but to becoming more whole. This is the antidote to burnout, and it begins by having the courage to be still. The engine of the modern world runs on a single powerful fuel, the belief that your value is external, that it is something to be earned, proven, and displayed through constant, relentless action. We have become a culture of human doings rather than human beings, and the productivity trap is the operating system for this culture. It is an invisible architecture of beliefs that promises fulfillment but delivers only exhaustion. The first belief is that busy is a synonym for important. We wear our exhaustion like a badge of honor. A packed schedule becomes a testament to our relevance. We answer emails at 10 o'clock at night not because they are urgent, but to prove that we are indispensable. To be still, to be unscheduled, to simply be, has become a terrifying void. Because in that stillness, the question arises, if I am not busy, do I still matter? The second belief is that rest is a reward you must earn, not a right you inherently possess. We treat rest like a dessert we are only allowed after we have finished all our vegetables. We promise ourselves we will relax after this one last project, after the inbox is clear, after the house is perfect. But the finish line is a mirage. It keeps moving. And so we live in a state of perpetual debt to our own well-being. This creates a profound anxiety around stillness. To rest feels like a transgression, a form of laziness, a theft of time that could have been used to achieve something. The irony is that this refusal to rest is what ultimately destroys our ability to create anything of true value. As the philosopher Lao Tzu wrote centuries ago, muddy water is best cleared by leaving it alone. But we have forgotten how to leave the water alone. We just keep stirring. Let's be with Michael. He is a 35-year-old marketing manager in a competitive tech firm. His life is a monument to productivity. His alarm goes off at 5 a.m. He has a precise routine of exercise, journaling, and reviewing his goals before his family even wakes up. His calendar is a perfectly constructed puzzle of meetings, tasks, and deadlines. He is the first one in the office and the last one to leave. His colleagues admire him. His bosses praise him. By all external measures, he is winning. But on the drive home, in the rare silence between podcasts, he feels it. A profound, hollow emptiness. A sense that he is the ghost in the machine of his own life. He arrives home and his young daughter runs to him holding a drawing she made. She wants to tell him the long, elaborate story behind every crayon stroke. He listens, but he is not present. His mind is already optimizing tomorrow, rehearsing a presentation, mentally drafting an email. He is physically home, but his soul is still at the office, running on the wheel. One evening, his wife says to him gently, "You know, you don't have to solve everything. You can just be here." And in that moment, something inside him cracks, because he realizes he has no idea how. He has become so identified with the role of the problem solver, the achiever, the producer, that he has forgotten how to simply be a husband, a father, a human being. His efficiency has cost him his presence. This is the shadow side of the productivity trap. This is the work Carl Jung urges us to do. The constant hustle is not just a lifestyle choice. It is a sophisticated defense mechanism against the self. The self, in Jungian psychology, is the totality of who we are. It is our center, our core, our connection to a deeper sense of meaning and purpose. And the self does not speak the language of spreadsheets and deadlines. It speaks in the quiet whispers of intuition, in the symbols of our dreams, in the slow, patient unfolding of our own unique path. To hear this voice requires stillness. It requires space. It requires us to be unproductive, and that is terrifying. So we create the cult of busyness to drown it out. We fill every waking moment with tasks and stimuli, so we never have to confront the deeper questions the self is always asking. Questions like, is this the life my soul truly wants? Am I honoring my own unique gifts, or am I just fulfilling a role society has given me? What am I running from? The exhaustion Michael feels is not just physical. It is a spiritual exhaustion. It is the soul fatigue that comes from living in profound misalignment with his own inner truth. The emptiness he feels is the space where his connection to his own self should be. The productivity trap promises a full life, but it can only ever deliver a full schedule. And a full schedule is not the same as a fulfilled soul.
If the productivity trap is a frantic horizontal race to an ever-receding finish line, then the cure must be a vertical journey. A journey not outward into more doing, but inward into deeper being. This is the radical alternative that Carl Jung offered to the world. He called this journey individuation. Individuation is not a goal to be achieved. It is not another item for your to-do list. It is a natural psychological unfolding. It is the acorn's sacred duty to become the oak tree. It is the caterpillar's destiny to become the butterfly. It is the process of becoming the unique, whole, and authentic individual you were born to be. It is not about adding more to yourself. It is about subtracting everything that is not you. The layers of social conditioning, the masks of the persona, the expectations of others, the belief that your worth is in your hustle. And to subtract these layers, you must first have the courage to see them. This is why the journey of individuation is inseparable from shadow work. The productivity trap forces us to create a very specific kind of shadow. We exile any part of ourselves that is deemed unproductive. Think about what you have pushed into your own darkness in the name of efficiency. The part of you that is slow, the part that needs to wonder and to wander without a goal, the part of you that loves to play, to do something for the sheer joy of it, with no expectation of a result. The part of you that feels deep emotions, sadness, grief, confusion, that cannot be optimized or hacked, but must simply be felt. In the religion of productivity, these parts of you are sins. They are inefficiencies. So you lock them away. And you wonder why your life feels so gray, so one-dimensional. You're living only with the approved parts of yourself. The process of individuation is a rescue mission. It is the journey into your own shadow to reclaim these exiled, beautiful, and vital parts of your soul. So where do we begin? How do we start this vertical journey in a world that only rewards the horizontal race? We begin with a small, radical act of rebellion. We create a to-be list. You have spent your life mastering the to-do list. It is the scripture of your productivity. The to-be list is the scripture of your soul. I invite you to take a piece of paper and next to your long list of tasks, I want you to write down 3 to 5 things for your to-be list. These are actions that have no goal other than the experience of them. They are profoundly unproductive. Things like, listen to one full album from beginning to end with no other distractions. Sit with your morning coffee for 10 minutes and just taste the coffee. No phone, no planning. Watch the clouds for 5 minutes. Lie on the floor and feel the ground beneath you. The items on the list are simple. The practice is one of the hardest things you will ever do. Because the moment you try to do one of these things, your inner drill sergeant, the voice of the productivity trap, will scream at you. You are wasting time. You should be answering emails. This is lazy. This is pointless. And here is the real work. You do not argue with the voice. You do not fight it. You simply notice it. You acknowledge its fear. You can even say to it, "Thank you for trying to keep me productive. I hear you. But for these 5 minutes, I am choosing to just be." And then you gently return your attention to the clouds, to the music, to the feeling of the floor. Each time you do this, you are weakening the bars of your prison. You are rewiring your nervous system to understand that your worth is not conditional upon your doing. You are practicing the art of being. Let's imagine Chloe, a 40-year-old high school teacher. Her life is a whirlwind of grading papers, preparing lesson plans, and managing the emotional needs of 100 teenagers. She gets home. The sun is setting, a breathtaking display of violet and gold outside her window. Her soul longs to just stand there and watch it. But the pile of ungraded essays on her desk looms, a monument to her responsibilities. The old Chloe would have succumbed to the guilt. She would have turned her back on the sunset and gotten to work, feeling a familiar, low-grade resentment. But the Chloe who is on this journey pauses. She remembers her to-be list. And on it, she had written, "Watch one full sunset." The inner drill sergeant starts shouting. The parents will be emailing. The students need their grades. She feels the anxiety rise. But she takes a breath, and she makes a choice. She walks to the window. And for 5 minutes, she does nothing but watch the sky. And in that act of unproductive stillness, something shifts. A quiet click, a small internal realignment. She is not just watching a sunset. She is sending a message to the deepest part of herself. A message that says, my presence is more important than my performance. My soul's nourishment matters. I matter. That is the beginning of the cure.
The journey of individuation is a quiet one. It does not announce itself with fireworks. It announces itself with a subtle internal shift, a change in the quality of your attention, a new sense of permission to simply be. As you practice your to-be list, as you create these small, sacred pockets of unproductive time, you are not just resting, you are recalibrating your entire definition of a life well lived. You are moving from a paradigm of external validation to a paradigm of internal alignment. This is the great work, and it will change everything. Let's return to Michael, our marketing manager, the man who had forgotten how to just be a father. He starts his to-be list with skepticism. It feels self-indulgent, irresponsible. His first item is listen to music for 15 minutes without doing anything else. He puts on an old album from his college days. For the first 5 minutes, his mind is a hornet's nest of anxiety. He thinks about work, about emails, about his mortgage. The urge to grab his phone is almost overwhelming. But he remembers the instruction. Notice the voice, let it be, and gently return. He returns his attention to the music. And then something happens. A memory surfaces. A feeling. The ghost of the passionate, idealistic young man he used to be, before the mortgage, before the promotions, before the hustle. A part of him he had exiled into the shadow because it was not productive. And for a fleeting moment he feels a pang of grief, and then a wave of profound connection to himself. He is not just listening to music. He is on a rescue mission into his own soul. The next week, his daughter runs to him again with a drawing. The old Michael would have given a quick, distracted, "That's nice, honey," his mind already elsewhere. But the Michael who has tasted that moment of connection with himself makes a different choice. He gets down on the floor with her. He asks her to tell him the story of the drawing. He listens, not with the part of his mind that is trying to solve a problem, but with the part of his soul that is simply present. And his daughter, feeling the quality of his attention, blossoms. She tells him a fantastic story about a dragon and a magical castle. And in that moment, Michael is not a marketing manager. He is not a productivity machine. He is a father. He is a human being. And he feels a richness, a sense of meaning in that 10-minute exchange that 1,000 cleared inboxes could never provide. He has not abandoned his responsibilities. He has remembered his purpose. His purpose is not just to achieve, it is to connect. This is the beautiful, paradoxical promise of individuation. By turning inward, by honoring the unproductive needs of your soul, you do not become less effective in the world. You become more potent, because you begin to operate from a place of fullness, not deficit. Your work becomes an expression of your authentic self, not a desperate performance to prove your worth. Your relationships become deeper because you are able to offer the rare gift of your full presence. You stop asking the question, "What does the world want from me?" And you start living the answer to the question, "What is the unique gift that I am here to bring to the world?" This is the great work that Carl Jung prescribed. It is a process of becoming so utterly and unapologetically yourself that you become a force of nature. Like the oak tree, you do not try to be productive. You simply are. And in your being, you provide shade and shelter and beauty to the world around you. This path requires a radical act of trust. Trust that your inner world has a wisdom that transcends the frantic logic of the hustle culture. Trust that the parts of you that you have deemed lazy or pointless are in fact the keepers of your deepest creativity and joy. Trust that who you are is already more than enough. You are not a project to be optimized. You are a soul to be honored. The journey of individuation is the ultimate act of honoring that soul. It is the choice to get off the hamster wheel and to start walking the slow, meandering, and beautiful path of becoming who you were always meant to be.
Today we have stood at the crossroads of the modern soul, the choice between a full schedule and a fulfilled life. We have unmasked the productivity trap, revealing it not as a path to success, but as a sophisticated form of shadow avoidance, a frantic race to escape the profound and sometimes uncomfortable stillness where our true self resides. We have learned that the exhaustion so many of us feel is a spiritual ailment, the soul fatigue that comes from living a life that is efficient but not authentic. But we were not left in this diagnosis. We were given a cure, a radical, ancient prescription from one of the great doctors of the soul, Carl Jung, the journey of individuation, a path that calls us not to do more, but to be more, to subtract the layers of expectation and conditioning so that the unique, essential truth of who we are can finally emerge. We have been given a first practical step on this journey, the quiet rebellion of the to-be list, a sacred practice of choosing our presence over our performance, a way to begin rescuing the exiled, unproductive parts of ourselves from the shadow. And we have seen through Michael that this inward turn does not lead to less life. It leads to more connection, more meaning, more of the quiet richness that 1,000 completed tasks can never offer. The journey of becoming who you are is the most important work you will ever do. It will not always be easy. The siren song of the hustle is loud and persistent, but your soul is quieter and infinitely wiser. The path to a meaningful life is not a race to be won. It is a mystery to be lived. And the only compass you need is the quiet, authentic voice within. Trust it. Honor it. Follow it. It knows the way home. As you begin to honor this inner voice, as you start to untangle yourself from the external world's definition of a valuable life, a new, subtle challenge will emerge. You will become more attuned to your own feelings, your own truth, and with that often comes a heightened sensitivity to the feelings of others, a deep empathy. But what happens when that empathy, that beautiful quality of feeling with others, starts to pull you back into the old patterns of people-pleasing? How do you hold on to your own authentic self while still holding compassion for others? Is it possible that your empathy, the very thing you see as your greatest virtue, could be secretly sabotaging your true self? That is the profound and deeply necessary exploration we will embark upon in our next conversation. For this week, your invitation is simple yet radical. Create your first to-be list. Just 3 items, 3 small acts of unproductive being. To make this courageous intention real, to cast your vote for a life of meaning
over a life of metrics, I invite you to share one item from your list in the comments below. Will you watch a sunset? Will you listen to an album? Will you simply lie on the floor? By sharing, you are not just writing a comment, you are planting a seed for a new way of living. And you are joining a community of souls who are choosing, with great courage, to get off the hamster wheel and to finally come home to themselves.